Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It's time for Movie Talk, where today we present you a couple of our favorite recommendations. And today was a bit of a difficult one because we had to choose best documentaries. And I don't know about you guys, I love documentaries. And there have been so many good ones over the past few years alone. So we're going to start off with mine. My first one is sports related. Surprise, surprise. It's called Last Chance U Basketball. Let's have a look at the trailer.
Welcome to East Los Angeles College Huskies basketball.
For us, JUCO, we trying to get to that next level.
I want to be a D1 player so bad.
It's not what you would think. It's not Hollywood for sure.
If they can go on to someplace else and get a scholarship, then their world changes significantly.
It's hard as hell here. It's hard.
You could lose your mind trying to fill these shoes. Why the man upstairs had to choose me? It's your last chance.
I'm not looking for just respectable. I'm trying to win state championship.
John's been like right there to winning it all, like multiple times. Haven't got over that hump.
You want the best opportunities for those kids.
He prays for me. If I needed to come to speak with him right now, he would be there.
I grew up in the hood. I would feel for him because I can see me. I was that kid. Amen. It's not just X's and O's, man. That's the easy part. You kids are dealing with a ton of demons.
I have those moments where I do explode. I was supposed to be in a position to help my family a long time ago, and I'm here.
Sean lost his mom a week after she passed. He played for me. The toughness that he has, his mom taught him. I've had people tell me that I'm angry.
Do you think those things are true?
I think I'm going through the hardest part of my life.
We're winning the state championship.
I'll do anything that it takes to win.
This is my whole reason for being here, so I could get this championship, move on.
The human highlight continues.
For 5 seasons, Last Chance U was a tentpole of Netflix's growing collection of sports coverage, showing life at the outer fringes of college football. However, now that approach is moving indoors, taking those desperate dreams to the court with Last Chance U Basketball. The 8-part docuseries follows the East Los Angeles College, or ELAC Huskies, a community college team built from former top-level recruits and players with few other options, chasing their last chance at glory as they compete for an improbable California state title. And this one really resonated with me. There's so many sports documentaries to choose from. There was The Last Dance. There's the Drive to Survive from F1. There's a new tennis one out. But this one really hit home to me because when I watched the first season of Last Chance U Basketball, what happened to them happened to all of us around the world. The pandemic hit. And these were young men. Some of them didn't have actual homes to live in. Some of them were struggling financially. But all of them had that one goal. And when they were about to reach that goal, the pandemic hit. And that's how the season ended. And I remember, wow, we can all relate to that. We all know that we had goals to achieve in life that we could not meet at that time because of the pandemic. And the future just looked uncertain. However, with this new season that came out, it shows what happened, much like the rest of us, coming out of the pandemic. It's a whole new batch of young men because it's been 2 years since that previous season. And now it picks up again, and how are they readjusting to life after the pandemic? And it's just a great story of young men who all have this common goal despite all of the struggles they have personally in their lives, and they come together. It's very inspiring, and just watching the coach saying that, the one line that always stuck with me is that, I coach them to be men, not to be players. And just coaching them in life.
It's this, I always love underdog stories. You know, people just working really hard, and they take themselves out of a certain situation that is full of adversities, and then they become something, and they transform themselves into a better person in a better situation.
And I really love Last Chance U Basketball. I watched the football one, which is really good because, you know, you have those kind of oversized players and they're trying their way, right? And even the cheer one. I watched the cheer one. And so it's really all these series by, you know, especially for the sports in the younger generation or, you know, in this kind of adulthood, younger adulthood, I think it's really good, and it really humanized them. I think. And that's one word that really stuck to me.
It's true.
This stories really humanize, like every stories, every background, whatnot. But like you said, to achieve that goal together.
Yes, and nice because we're always exposed to professional sports. We never see how long a road it is to actually get to that level. And this is one of the lower levels, and you see how much of a struggle it is.
And they're like lower level, but they played hard.
There's some bombs out there. All right, so we hope you're hungry this morning because my second movie recommendation is Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Let's have a look at the trailer first.
今仕事しててこの年になって完璧だとは思っていないからね。
親さんまだ悔いがあるからおかしいよ。で、せがれがかわいそうだから早く譲ってあげてって。
ずっとまあ親さんがやっていければそれでいいんですけれども、そうはいかないですから、いつかは交代しなきゃいけないですから。そこまで頂上まで行けば完璧かもわかんないけど、じゃあこの頂上はどこかっていうとわかんないわけですよ。
抜いてやっと並んだ。そのぐらいやっぱり親父の影響ってそんなもん。
やりたが夢だったっていうのがありますよ。これやったらいいかなって夢でしょあれ。やるってことは非常にいいことじゃないかなと思います。
うちはもう二郎さんの亡霊がもうそこら中にあるから。
好きにならなきゃダメですよ。それ自分の仕事に惚れなきゃダメなんですよ。
In the basement of a Tokyo office building, 85-year-old sushi master Jiro Ono works tirelessly in his world-renowned restaurant Sukiyabashi Jiro as his son, Yoshikazu, faces the pressures of stepping into his father's shadow and taking over the legendary restaurant. Jiro relentlessly pursues his lifelong quest, which is to create the perfect piece of sushi.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
what would that be?
I know the premise itself just sounds pretty simple, but what I got out of this, and I saw this years ago, and why this one still sticks out to me, because it's so unfathomable for me to see one person all the way until he's 85 commit himself to one goal, which is to create the perfect sushi.
Dude, that is called mastery.
Exactly, and imagine all the discipline it takes. He gets up around the time we do for a morning show.
Right.
He does the same thing every morning. And that routine, though, it's not the same to him. He tries to make it better every single day.
Right.
Now, this restaurant is tiny. There's no tables. It's just a little bar. It's about, at least I hear, it's about a year to get a reservation just to get in there.
That's true.
And he doesn't strive to be more. What he tries to do, like most people would think, oh, I'm a Michelin winner.
I'm going to expand my restaurant.
Yeah, I'm going to open branches everywhere. He doesn't.
Exactly.
He just wants to open this one, but make it the most perfect restaurant. And he has two sons, and his two sons are quite old themselves. You can see behind you there, his left and his right.
Oh,
and the son there to our right, there you see, is the one that is groomed to take over his restaurant, while the son on the left has created another restaurant, but not even bigger. It's exactly the same, but a mirror image of the current restaurant that he has. And what it just shows me is that how you can actually have that kind of discipline and that kind of goal in your mind, but also pass it along generationally to your kids. And his kids have the same passion. So it just goes to show that whenever you feel down at work or you feel a little bit having a slow day, just think about what some people do to commit themselves to doing the same thing every day in order to make perfection. And I think that teaches a lot. And I think you can draw a lot of inspiration.
That's right.
It's quite inspirational indeed.
And the food looks yummy.
Oh my gosh, it looks yummy. It almost like when you eat it, it melts in your mouth. And that's why it deserves the Michelin star, right? And I think I watched this documentary a couple of years ago. I remember I watched this before the pandemic, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I learned how to eat sushi properly from this documentary.
You're right.
It's not with your chopsticks, people. It's with your fingers.
That's right.
And what you dip into the soy sauce, it is not the rice. It's actually the fish part, okay?
Yes.
And then you eat it in one go, right?
Yes, that's right. It's right.
Very educational, right? All right.
Exactly.
Using my hands this time.
Using your hands, Carol. Okay. So those were the two recommendations of documentaries from Paul. Now it's time for my recommendation, and the first one is Navalny. Let's take a look at the trailer.
And you might hate this, but I really want you to think about it. If you are killed, if this does happen, what message do you leave behind to the Russian people?
Alexei Navalny has taken on the most dangerous job in the world, challenging the leader of the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin.
If I want to be a leader of this country, if I want to fight Putin, I have to organize people.
Война в Украине и война в Сирии. Я прекращу войну.
The Kremlin hates Navalny so much, they refuse to say his name.
I was banned from everything and blacklisted. But as I became more and more famous, I was totally sure that it will be problematic for them to kill me.
And boy, were you wrong.
Yes, I was very wrong.
Alexei Navalny arrives at this hospital in Berlin to have your
Yes, the documentary was shot as the story unfolded. Navalny is a fly-on-the-wall documentary thriller about anti-authoritarian Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, and recovering in Berlin after nearly being poisoned to death with the nerve agent Novichok. He made a shocking discovery about his assassination attempt and bravely decided to return home, whatever the consequences.
Ooh.
This is an amazing documentary, guys, that was released on HBO last year. Who is exactly Navalny, right? So he's an anti-corruption campaigner who has long been the most prominent face of Russian opposition to President Vladimir Putin. So the 25-year-old blogger has survived poisoning with a nerve agent and is now behind bars. So he came back and immediately was imprisoned by Putin's government. And even though he's been unable to challenge the president at the ballot box, his voice retains its power for many Russians, and he remains a threat to the Kremlin. And he has millions of Russian followers on social media, many in their early 20s or younger, and his campaign group's anti-corruption videos have reached millions. And he's such an amazing activist, because when a lot of people who watched his documentary would have these questions like, oh my God, you're already like out, you're in Berlin already, you're no longer in Russia, why would you want to go back?
Right.
Why would you want to go back and risk your life again? Because obviously he's seen as a threat by President Vladimir Putin. But he came back immediately when he was in the airport in Russia. He was immediately captured by the police, and now he's still in prison.
So he's still in custody.
He's still in
right
prison,
now.
but you know, he's making his point. He's making his point.
Wow.
He's revealing all
Not
of the
gonna run
corruption
away.
cases around President Vladimir Putin, and he does it not only in a serious manner, but also in a funny way. You guys should watch his documentary that he posted on YouTube. It's accessible.
It seems like he was laughing at the end
No,
there
and
on
I
the
didn't-
trailer, you know?
I didn't know all the details surrounding this. I do remember this, obviously, this was quite recent. I remember thinking as well that, wow, they're probably going to make this into a movie, and I guess they did.
Yeah,
pretty much. Right, a documentary.
It's an amazing documentary. You have to watch it.
It's really relatable to what happened right now, too, in regards to Russia and Ukraine.
There you go.
Good one.
And the second one is my octopus teacher. Let's have a look at the trailer.
I remember the day when it all started, seeing this really strange thing. A lot of people say an octopus is like an alien. But the strange thing is, as you get closer to them, you realize that we're very similar in a lot of ways. It's a hard thing to explain, but sometimes you just get a feeling and you know there's something to this creature that's very unusual. There's something to learn here. I had to have a radical change in my life. And the only way I knew to do it was to be in this ocean with her. And then I had this crazy idea. What happens if I just went every day?
Yes, my octopus teacher tells a story about Craig Foster, who suffered from a loss of purpose. He began a daily diving regimen in the freezing kelp forest at the tip of Africa to re-energize himself. And what he discovered below the water surface is an alien motivation in the form of an unusually curious octopus. This is an immersive portrait of a human-animal understanding, brimming with danger, drama. Of course, your emotion will be going up and down in a roller coaster. My octopus teacher will definitely grab you with all the 8 arms. And because, you know, octopus, they changes its camouflage, showing us colors and textures we've never seen before. And I think this documentary won an award either in Golden Globe or I think it was in the Golden
I remember
Globe.
it got some sort of award. I don't remember
Right?
which one either.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was the
correct.
best documentary, and I know why, because the story is very simple. It's about this documentary maker who was just like, you know, losing all the juices in his life. He just doesn't feel anything. And
Right.
suddenly he forged this relationship, this unlikely relationship with an octopus. He just began diving every single day and meeting this octopus and observing the behavior. And then in the beginning, of course, the octopus was afraid of him because he's human.
Sure.
It's an alien creature.
Foreign.
But then in the end, gradually, because he kept visiting.
Right.
I still remember the scene when one of the tentacles sort of reached out to the documentary
Yeah.
maker. And the life of an octopus is actually very short.
Right.
I can't remember how short, but I think it's less than 1 year. Or was it 1 year? So during that 1 year, it was an intense
Oh my gosh.
experience or life experience for the documentary maker, because in the end, I'm sorry. I think it's
spoiler alert.
okay,
It's
no.
okay, this movie talk.
But
it's already a
I
tear.
think I know. I think I know what happens. Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
I know. But yes, your children, you should watch this
Yeah.
with your children. It's very beautiful. You should watch
Yeah.
this with your children as well, because there's a lot of philosophy, a lot of life lessons that we can learn.
It's like living instinct, right? Whether you're a human or you're an animal, you have that instinct whether you're a good person or not. It's
Yes,
right?
especially animals. They're very
Yeah.
sensitive, and
They're all
octopus is a
instinctive.
highly intelligent creature.
Right. But their lifespan, though, 1 year, my goodness.
think
I'm
it's
already
like
tearjerker right
I
now.
know,
Okay,
I know,
my
I know.
octopus teacher is going to be on my list next.
Yes.
And
What's
after
your recommendation, Kay?
Yes, so after Paul's and Marissa, which those are great ones, this is my documentary movie or docuseries recommendation. The first one, let's go. No, not this. Not this. No, sorry, no, this one's too real.
I thought that was your
This is
I was
no,
like,
no,
hey.
no,
hey,
no. Yes,
Hang on.
yes.
What's your
yes.
actual
This
recommendation?
is no. I mean, I want to talk about this later on because
Production,
you know,
production is messing with you here. Oh, this one makes more sense. This one makes more
has
sense.
been in everyone's radar about
Okay,
that,
Redeem
you know, the Duke and Dutch of Sussex. But this is going to be my recommendation right now, guys. The Redeem Team. Let's take a look at the trailer.
For the first time ever in the Olympics.
It was ugly to watch. It was terrible to be a part of.
And you kicked our ass.
We came to the notion just because we're Americans, we're better.
We was just thrown together and said, go out there and win us a gold medal. Everybody's like, we can never have this feeling ever again.
And we had to figure out how to become a team.
I was nervous.
A lot of them were not known as great team players.
I had a lot of concerns. That's why we recruited Kobe Bryant.
If you follow basketball, then you know the nickname of this year's squad, the Redeem Team.
The Redeem Team.
The Redeem Team.
They think they were a bunch of showboat players. Just want to do the dirty work to win. I was young, but I understood what it meant to build chemistry.
Because if that didn't work, there's no way in hell none of this was gonna work. Cole said, I'm tired of watching y'all lose. I'm like, I love this energy. This is what we need.
Now let me give you what you came for.
All right, there you go, seeing the Black Mamba that lives forever, using unprecedented Olympic footage and behind-the-scenes material. The Redeem Team tells the story of the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team quest for a gold at the Olympic Games Beijing 2008, following the previous team's shocking performance 4 years earlier in Athens. Well, I want to talk about this, and I know, I'm pretty sure,
Is this on Netflix? It is
Yes,
on
it is. And I mean, we know there's The Last Dance when it's like 2021 when the pandemic hits, but I think the Redeem Team, this is a docu-series that I watch with my boys because this is more of you redeeming, right? Because we know with the Dream Team, with Magic Johnson, and you have Michael Jordan, and you have Larry Bird and whatnot. That was like the Dream Team of the Olympic or men's basketball from United States. But I think this is where after that, they did not win any gold medals and whatnot. You know, people are kind of now shifting. Like, I don't think United States. I mean, you can help me on this, B. I mean, people are kind of like saying maybe United States are not as powerful.
Well,
as they
because
were
the
before.
original Dream Team was the first time pro players from the NBA were allowed to play internationally part of the Olympics, and they were undefeated, starting with Dream Team 1, Dream Team 2.
Yeah.
There were arguments over which were the better Dream Team because no other countries can even compare. Then they lost.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, are the Europeans better at basketball, right?
Yes, exactly. But what I like about this Redeem Team, actually, you know, both of my boys, they play basketball.
Yes.
So when during their matches and tournaments, there are times they win and there are times they lose. And when I remember when Ryan's first lost game, he was really down. He was like, he was devastated until like he felt like, you know, he was crying all the time. And I showed them, we have to watch the Redeem Team. You know, well, let's watch the show together. It was my husband, the boys, and myself. And then I said, you see this, right? You will, in life, not only in basketball games, you will find some parts of your life where you're lost, when you're feeling low. But you have to remember that you can pick up yourself again. And Redeem Team is talking about like, there's Kobe Bryant, there's LeBron James, there's Chris Paul, there's D-Wade. They're all great players, but
They
you have
failed
to
before.
make it. Yeah. But you have to make it as a team. You have to be a team player to win this. And that's also according to life. You know, you have your brothers, you have your friends. You can make it in life when you work as a team. And as an individual, you have Kobe Bryant, of course, the late, you know, Black Mamba there. I mean, there's one that really sticks to me when, you know, during the docuseries, all the team was going out for a fun night at Las Vegas. He was the only one that stays at the hotel.
Oh, he had to go to the gym.
Yes, he went to the gym. When they went home from the club to the hotel back at 5 a.m., he's already getting ready. He's already sweating in the gym. Wow. So I said, if you want to make it as a person, you got to do what you
Oh, by the way, don't forget what happened after that. The next day, other people, instead of going out, started joining him at the gym session.
Yes.
Inspirational.
Exactly. So the Redeem Team is like one, I think, show that, you know, it kind of engage and inspire you and lifts you up. All right. So that's my number one. My second one, I have a lot. I love unsolved mysteries, murder cases. I know. There's a lot. There's Jeffrey Dahmer. You have the JC, that Italian guy, JC Davies.
Oh,
I forgot. It's on top of my mind. Anyways, but this one, it really is dear to my heart. It's the American Murder, The Family Next Door. Let's take a look at the trailer.
This is the husband.
My name is Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. I've gone to her house, and her car's there. She won't answer phone calls. She won't answer text messages. What's her name? Shanann Watt.
Hey guys, my name is Shanann. I just want you to know a little bit of my story. I went through one of the darkest times of my life, and then I met Chris. Whatever happened to me.
All right, this is American Murder. The Family Next Door focuses on the 2018 disappearance of Shanann Watts. It was big news in the United States, and her two young daughters. Told via archival footages, the true crime documentary unfolds through home videos, social media posts, police body cams, recordings, news reports, and private text messages. And we know who the killer is. It's right there. That's his face. It's the husband and the father of the two children because, yeah, I mean, you have to watch it if you have not so. But this one is really close to my heart because it seems that people are going throughout, I mean, people has a lot of skeletons and whatnot, but when you're sleeping with one, that becomes dangerous, you know? And that's why I told my husband, if there's something going on between me and you,
talk to me.
You know, yes, talk. We can talk and discuss.
Yes.
And, you know, since we're talking about documentaries, I just want to, you know, kind of, you know, you see the Harry and Meghan one. I think documentaries is about, you know, histories. It retells histories and stories and whatnot. I think a docuseries or a documentary movie is really effective when you're having proofs of facts and if you have reliable sources from both halves. And
so you're saying that the documentary of the Duke and Duchess? Oh.
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
like, I mean, if a real docu-series should be like that, I'm just saying, you know, it's different like an interview. I'm just saying that. All right, anyways, go on, guys.
Great recommendations this week, guys, but we're doing something different with Movie Talk this week.
Yes.
Because we don't want to just give our recommendations, because yesterday we held a vote on documentary movies that are recommended by the followers, our loyal followers of our Instagram account, See Today News. So here are the results.
Yes, and the first one is Abdan Alk.
Ooh, good one.
He or she recommends Tinder Swindler from Netflix.
Ah, good one.
Oh yeah, I began to watch that, but then I got super annoyed and by the guy, and I got acidic stomach. I thought this is too stressful. I'm just gonna quit.
Yeah.
There you go. So thank you, Abdan Alk.
Yes.
For Tinder Swindler recommendation.
Next up, Nelly Melinda proposed Infested, Living with Parasite, which can be watched through BBC iPlayer.
Ooh, I like it. It's educational.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know what parasites I'm living with currently. All right, we have another one from Diajeng Agni, who suggested Kurt Cobain, Montage of Heck. And as the title suggests, it is the biography of Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, directed by Brett Morgan. This one I have not heard of. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it is actually interesting. I have never heard of this before. And the next one is The Act of Killing.
Ooh,
yes, the
good
documentary filmmaker Joshua Oppenheimer in this documentary exposed the horrifying mass executions of accused communists that happened in Indonesia back in the 60s. And this movie is recommended by Soerachmat Fauzan Santoso under the handle of Calon Haji Soerachmat.
This one is very difficult to find at the time when I wanted to watch it, and I got my hands on it through a friend, and unbelievable. I could see why now it's so critically acclaimed around the world.
Yeah, and he also made a second one
Correct.
that's related to this case as well, the mass killing.
It took him 30 years to make, or something like that, 20 years.
Well, I'm not sure how long it took, but the act of killing, and the second one is The Look of Silence.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Plenty of recommendations for you guys.
There you go. Many, many, many to watch. And we are going for a quick break right now. Yeah, right?
Yes,
Paul?
let's
Paul?
go.
Yes,
Okay.
let's do it.
Okay, and then Paul will return with a recap from the world of sports.
Oh, I thought I had a break.
That was a good one, by the way.
Yeah.
That was really
I like
good.
the additional people's
Yeah.